Thanks for joining us on the John Mendola Show. We are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. Let's talk Meyers, Mohawks boys track and field team. Joining us right now are seniors Josh Schiowitz and Tim Snyder. Well, guys, welcome into the show, and let's start with you first, Josh. Here you are, track and field season. You're a busy guy. You did some football this year. Now you're doing some track and field. Tell us about how your track and field season's going right now.
Oh, it's pretty exciting. We just finished up the season undefeated. Coach White has taken us a long way, put some hard work in, and really kind of have an all-around team. It's pretty exciting to put all the athletes together and really have that come out in the win-loss column. And
you guys seem to find athletes there at Meyers, and Coach White is one of those guys. He's talking to guys all the time. I talked to a young man the other day, and I said, "Hey, do you ever do track and field before?" He said, "No." I said, "Well, what event you doing?" "You're doing the high jump," and I think he's jumping already like 6'2" or 6'3", so it's pretty interesting that guys could kind of just find events and find the right fit for him there at Meyers High School.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Coach White, just talking to him, he has a really great eye for track and field, just being around the sport so long. I mean, we could just talk about a single person on the team, and he'll tell you exactly what events they're doing now and what they could be doing, and if they put this much effort in, they could be great here. And even people who aren't running, who are doing other sports, he's amazing at just looking at someone and being able to tell exactly where he could plug them in if they're on the team.
Josh, let's talk a little bit about the events that you're competing in right now for the Meyers track and field team, as districts is right here upon us. You guys are ready to go for districts, but tell us about what events you've competed in this year.
Well, I'm kind of a journeyman of sorts. Wherever Coach puts me in, I try my best. But I've been competing in javelin, pole vault, the 4x4 relay, and the 4x8 relay mainly.
And Josh, a nice football career for you. You got Coach Labatch with you guys, and tell us about this season. It was a nice season for you guys to make the playoffs there with Eastern Conference.
Oh yeah, that was great. We're a program that has struggled in years past, and to go out strong senior year and really have everyone buy into a system. From day one, we knew we were going to put a lot of work in, and that if we were there every single day and worked harder than we ever had before, it would all come together. We always had the athletes, but we never really had the work ethic and, the system that we had. So now, being able to put that together and be able to go out strong, that was an absolutely great feeling. And I think some of that positivity carried over to track with kids who are on the football team and the track team. We got used to winning, and this year as a whole, Meyers has done a great job winning in tons of different sports. So there's just this great atmosphere throughout the school, and I think that just carried over to track.
Yeah, and not only in athletics, but in the academic end as well. And you're one of those guys who's a great student. You're in the top 5 of your class, Josh. And not only do you do football and track and field, but you're involved in some other things there at Meyers High School. Tell us about what you're involved in.
I'm involved in a number of different clubs. I'm the senior class vice president. I'm in the Key Club. I'm a member of National Honor Society. Also, Meyers FBLA. That's actually something that I put a lot of time into this year. We ended up doing pretty well in that, so that's an interesting thing to talk about. But I try and get myself involved in as much as possible.
Interesting is the FBLA. You guys made it all the way to nationals, correct?
Yeah, we took 3rd in the state in a competition for FBLA in digital video production. So my group, Keith Ostrowski and Matt Yuckel, we all worked together and put a video together and made a business presentation and ended up taking 3rd. And now we get to go to Atlanta the last week of June and represent Meyers. Even after we take the stage and graduate, we're still representing the school. So that's exciting.
Josh, how about for you, your future endeavors? Tell us about what you're interested in and where you're headed.
I'll be attending Syracuse University. I'm going to double major in history education and film. I'm in the School of Visual and Performing Arts. That's always been an interest of mine, but I also want to have the history background. So if that doesn't work out, I can go on and teach after college. So if I spend an extra year at Syracuse, I can actually get my Bachelor's of Fine Arts in film, and then I can also get a master's degree in education. So I could really, have my future open and go wherever life takes me. So it's exciting.
Be a little steep with the bill, but it'll all be worth it with that extra year
Yeah.
at Syracuse University. Josh, let's talk a little bit about the throwers there at Meyers and some different guys that are really doing well for you. I know Namir Murphy is one of those guys that kind of stands out.
Yeah, he is a tank. That's really how we describe him. He's just a beast of a human being. He's one of those guys that he's just naturally strong. It's not even necessarily weight room strong. It's just he just looks the part. He's a big guy, and he can get out there and really, really just chuck objects. It's kind of amazing. But he's been working a lot with Coach White, and he's really getting his form together now, and he's done well in all three throwing events. I believe disc is his specialty at this point. I think that's where he's throwing the farthest.
Yeah, and a heck of a young man, that's for sure. And you mentioned discus, shot put, javelin, you name it. But Namir Murphy showing up. Josh, I want to thank you for your time, and we're going to move over to Tim Snyder right now, who's a long-distance runner, of course, cross-country for him, and now track and field. And, Tim, welcome into the show. And, boy, a real nice season for you and for your teammates there at Meyers.
Yeah, it's been great. We weren't exactly sure how it was all going to play out in the beginning of the season, but everything kind of fell into place. As Josh mentioned, we picked some people up along the way, and everything it turned out all right, and we ended up having a pretty good season.
Let's talk about you with the distance specialty that you do. Tell us about the events you're competing in there on the track and field and helping Meyers to a perfect season.
The events that I mostly do, I do the 4x800 relay and the 4x400 relay along with Josh, and I run the 400-meter dash. Every now and then, Coach White will throw me in somewhere else, so depends on the day.
Tim, so many talented athletes there on the track and field. Take us through some of the runners, and you could take us through. If you want to start with sprinters, go ahead, start there.
All right, sprinters, we've got Mark Robinson, Fabian Biggs. They're both very strong sprinters. Raheem Twyman is most known in the hurdles. And we've got Kabir Williams and a couple other younger guys that are coming up, and they're getting some fast times performing on the track.
How about some guys in the mid-distance or distance events that help complement what you do?
Rudy Rivera has definitely been a great addition to the team. Having him switch over to Meyers this year, he's performed and had great outcomes in the 800, and as well as a very integral part of our relays. And Carson Kozlowski has been doing great things in the 2-mile, the mile.
Tim, let's move along over to the jumping events, whether it's the high jump, the long jump, or the triple jump. Who are some guys that have scored points there for the Mohawks?
We've had a lot of guys who are new to the team this year: Javondre McClare, Nais Hood, and Khalil Saunders. Most of them either hadn't done track before or this is their first year on the varsity team, and they weren't exactly sure what they were doing in the beginning, but with some coaching, they're doing great things. They're getting a lot of good places at meets for us.
Tim, when you talk about the camaraderie that you guys have on the track and then off the track, talk about getting guys on the same page. Say, hey, we need 6 points from you, or we need a couple points from you. You guys working, and again, I think Josh kind of hit on that Coach White kind of has that knack for finding guys to get a couple points to win those meets, and you guys were able to beat Hanover this past week. That was pretty big.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Coach White has a way of convincing someone to do a certain event, and they do it, and everything just ties together in the end for an overall success. But it takes the whole team.
Tim, you have a really bright future ahead of you. Let's first talk about the high school level. Right now, you're currently ranked first in your class. Of course, there's less than a month to go in school. Talk about being such a great student. We talked a little bit about Josh being the top 5, so he's outstanding as well. But talk about that hard work in the classroom.
Well, it's definitely a lot of very hard work. It takes a lot of determination. It's senior year. It's kind of everybody. You really want to just relax, but pushing through the last couple of months to work hard and do well in the classroom is definitely worth it.
And how about for you, Tim? Let's talk about all the different activities you've done at Meyers. We mentioned cross country for you, and we also mentioned the track and field. What else are you involved in?
I'm also in the math club, and I'm in the Spanish National Honor Society and the regular National Honor Society, and I'm our class secretary.
All right, sounds like a busy schedule for you. And how about those future endeavors? Where are you headed, and what are you going to study?
I'm headed to the University of Pittsburgh, and I want to study bioengineering with a focus in biomedical engineering. I'm also considering possibly a minor in the Spanish language.
Well, it sounds outstanding to me. You guys are representing, obviously, your families very well, as both of you, I'm sure, have very supportive families and what you've done up until this point, and really, really bright futures there, academic careers. So congratulations, guys. Hey, best of luck at these district championships with your team, okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Mr. Mendola.
Josh Schiowitz, Tim Snyder, two outstanding student athletes there at Meyers High School with the Meyers Mohawks track and field team. On the John Mendola Show, we are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers.